Okay guys, so here is a crash course in photography 101. Now that we have the flashes on each of our booths, basically we're just going to go through, we're always going to be on manual mode, and I'm just going to go through what these things mean. So A is aperture. So aperture is basically how like tight or how open the camera lens is. Now, what happens is as you go up in number, it is letting less, it's tightening up, so it's letting less light in, but the depth of field, i.e., what is in focus, is actually bigger. So we actually want a higher number here. So let's try and keep this above 8. So if I go higher in the number, it's going to, like as I go further down, it's going to let less light in. So we want to keep it above 8. Let's ideally keep it at 10 if that's possible. Now this here, TV, is the shutter speed. So that's how long the shutter is open for. So obviously if it's open for longer, which is up, it's going to let more light in. And if it's open for less, down, it's going to let less light in. So ideally we want to be around the 1/200 mark. But that will always depend on the other lighting and stuff like that. And then there's the ISO speed. So the ISO speed is basically another thing that lets the light in. It's a setting in the camera. The best way to describe it is the bigger the number, the more light it's going to let in, but the more noise is going to happen. So noise is like graininess in the picture, or like in dark spots it'll have like a white flare or something like that. So you want this as low as possible. Preferably we want to keep it under 400, but if you do need to go up when you can't change it in other ways, then that's totally fine. But we're going to sort of set it at 100 to start off with for all of our booths. So the idea is when you take a photo, now this is going to look funny because I'm in the middle of the warehouse and the lighting is going to be pretty shit here. So preview pic, take a photo. There I am. Obviously we probably should put it into color, so give me a sec. All right, we are back. Color. So actually, I'm actually looking pretty good there in terms of color and brightness. So what you want to do is basically find where the people stand, where the people are going to be standing, take the photo, have a look. I mean, they're probably not going to be wearing the same color as I am, the bright colored shirt, but you want to have a look. The exposure is pretty good there. So if it's too dark, say I was too dark and you wanted more light, the first thing I want you guys to change to get more light in is shutter speed. So if we wanted more light, I go to 1/100 and let's preview pic. So you can see it's a fair bit brighter there. And if I was to go even up, let's just preview pic. Now what we're actually finding here is we're actually not getting much more light in despite opening up for longer, and the reason for that is all of our light, just about, because it's dark actually in the warehouse, is coming from the flash, and the flash is actually not flashing for any longer than that. So yeah, so that's one reason. So say we were still too dark here and we got to our maximum of 1/100, we don't want to go any don't open it for any longer than that, because then you get blurring, because if you open up the lens for the shutter for too long and people move a bit, they'll start blurring. So say we didn't have enough light there, then I would prefer you to then go and drop AV down to 8. Let's preview pic. You can see that's going to make a difference. It's going to be brighter. See how much brighter it is there. And then only as a last resort to change the ISO up, and if I say let's just go nuts and go to 400, which is as high as I want you guys to go, preview pic, and you're going to see how much bloody light is going to be there. Way too bright. So that's obviously way too bright. Keep an eye on things during events, guys. If people are too bright or too light, people's skin colors are different too. So if you have an event where most people are really light skinned, you might not want to expose them too much because you can't tell the difference between their wrinkles and all that kind of stuff. And if you have people where they're very dark skinned, then you might want to give them a bit more light than normal. But I would dare say that with these lights, 1/200, I think it was. 1/200, ISO speed of 100, AV10. Let's preview pic. Should give you enough light. I might want a bit more light there, so I might want to go to 1/160. Bear in mind that we're quite dark here and I don't actually have the photo booth lights on. So preview pic there. There is your little thing on how to do that. Now, the only other thing that you need to change is down here where it goes to live preview. So if you look down, where is it? Live view. So the live view, you actually want the AV as low as possible because this is just going to be what's showing you, and then probably 1/5 might work. So I'll show you what I mean by the live view. So it's the view that you see before. There we go. So I'm still a bit dark. So I might even change that to, bear in mind I don't have the booth lights on, so say it is too dark, I'm going to change that to 0.3 if I go back to show viewer. So it doesn't change the actual photo, it just changes this live view when people are getting themselves and posing and stuff like that. So that is this live view one here, and you can change that. It doesn't matter how high you go on here because we're not taking the photo, it's not going to actually, so you can go all the way up, all the way down, and keep the aperture as up there if you want. And that's basically it. That's photography 101. I'll send some links as well, guys, which will help you out, and I'll also send some photos on how to set up the booth with the flash, which you can see up there.